All right, today's T4Cast is super random. I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of the whole point. I make these videos to talk about random things I think about, but I don't know. I feel like normally they at least make a little more sense. This one's just ridiculously random, but it is what it is. So what I wanted to talk about today was storages, like storage facilities. The reason that this idea was born was because every single time we drive by, or almost every time we drive by a storage facility, my mom's partner, there's a whole story on that. I'll never get into it. It's personal, but I don't know. I don't like talking about that. I mean, I guess he's okay, you know, but it's just, I don't know. But anyways, every time we drive by one, he always makes fun. Like, he says, "Oh, sucker born every day," or, you know, especially if there's someone outside. Like, he doesn't yell out the window or anything, not ridiculous like that. Like, he just keeps it internal with us, making a joke. "Oh, there's a couple suckers wasting money to put to keep their stuff away from," whatever. I can't phrase it off the top of my head, but you know what I mean? Like, to keep their stuff, but somewhere else, not in the house. Paying somebody to keep your stuff for you. Like, he makes fun of it. And it's like, in his viewpoint, I guess I get it. You know, it is kind of silly. Like, it's a bill that you're incurring monthly that you don't need. And it's so that way then you can keep your things. So all those things in there you bought, so you paid money to get them, and now you're paying money to keep them. And so, you know, when you look at it from his perspective, it is kind of silly. But then I got to thinking about it a lot because, you know, he's always making fun. So something I just kind of randomly will think about, especially when I'm alone and I see a facility. Then I'm like, you know, I think about his jokes and I'm like, well, what? And I start thinking deeper. And I feel like there actually could be a lot of positives to a storage unit that you don't really think of on a first glance, if you will. So anyways, the other thing too, on like a small scale, without really getting into this too much, is sometimes storages do hold a lot of value. For a perfect example, it's when I was a kid, my uncle's long-term girlfriend, she had a storage unit because she moved in with him, but his apartment was tiny. I mean, I don't know how to explain where he lives. He lives in it's almost like a low-income / old folks home situation, but I don't know, it's not projects or anything. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a building, and it's got like 10 floors or something, and there's about, I don't know, 5 apartments per wing, so you got like 10 apartments per floor. And yeah, geez, oddly enough, it's almost like Dahmer's situation. The Oxford apartments only make it taller and a little bit bigger. But anyways, the apartments inside, though, they are tiny. I mean, geez, like when I was a kid, I knew it was small, but we went over recently, and we were in there, and I'm like, holy crap, like now as an adult, like it is tight. So anyways, yeah, so because of that, she didn't have much space for her stuff to fit into his tiny apartment. So she had a storage, and she stored in there, you know, like valuables, both monetarily valuable and sentimentally valuable. She stored those in the storage. She stored furniture, like a kitchen table. Again, his place is tiny. He had a kitchen table, but it was like, how do I explain it? I don't know. It was pretty tiny. He had like those chairs that are like a circle for the seat part, and then it's just like metal legs, you know, really thin and small, because that's little enough to fit in a place that doesn't have much room. And the table what was the table? I don't know. It looked nice. Then again, I was a kid looking at that. I don't remember what it's like now. But anyways, it ain't gonna fit a normal dining room table like she had, so it went in the storage, amongst a whole bunch of other stuff, which, you know, kind of fast forwarding for her, they ended up splitting up. I mean, they're still friends. They talk regularly. I think they still hang out regularly. I mean, she's moved on and she's got a husband now, but they still hang out. I think they sometimes even hang out as a group, which I always think that's gotta be kind of awkward, no? Like, oh, well, I'm gonna go hang out. Hey, we're gonna go have dinner. Can I invite my ex-boyfriend? Like, what? But I don't know. I guess they've worked it out, and that's kind of their weird situation they got going on. But anyways, yeah. So for her, having all that stuff in storage, see, it paid off. When she left him and got her own place, she had like a little starter kit, if you will, waiting to go, waiting for her to set up. She had a table, she had some decorations and what have you. So anyways, situations like that, I feel like the storage is pretty good. It's not a waste then, because otherwise she would have had to like get rid of everything she owned. So this way, at least, yeah, you have to pay money, but at least she's able to keep her stuff. The other situation that I think is probably the standard use of storage is like short term. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the middle of moving and maybe the place you're moving to isn't quite ready yet, because those people, they have until the end of the month, saying it's the middle of the month and you're getting ready to move out. But at least then you rent a storage unit, you just put your stuff in there, and then when the time comes, you're all moved out because it's in storage, and it makes things a little bit easier. Also, in a way, it makes it easier too when you're moving into the new place, because instead of having all your stuff just piled up in the kitchen or whatever, now you can do this more intelligently. You can go to the storage. Okay, I'm going to do the kitchen, so let me just get all my kitchen stuff only. The rest will stay at the storage, so you don't have a huge mess in your new home. So that could be a positive. But anyways, this is still just the overview stuff. What I was thinking about, what I think about all the time about what could be positive and negative of a storage unit is this. So I'm going to just start with the negative, because I feel like there's, oddly enough, less on the negative side. So one thing, obviously, is if you have a storage unit for long term, like my aunt by dating, I don't know what you'd call her, like she had, hers was long term, she had that for years. But one thing, obviously, is the cost. You have to pay, like I said in the beginning, for somebody to hold on to your stuff. And I don't know how much storage units are. I think like a small one goes for like, not super tiny, but like a 5x10 or something like that goes for like $80 a month. And that's like the smallest size that most places offer. Actually, I think they have 5x8s might be the smaller size. I don't know. But they're still in that range, like $70-$80. So, that's kind of not expensive, but for like an unnecessary monthly bill, that kind of is, and it adds up. I mean, geez, even after a year, what's 8 times 12? 96, so $960 a year. That's just to store your stuff. Do 10 years, that's $9,600 that you wasted just keeping your things. So, the second thing that I think is not really so flattering about having a storage unit is you are trusting somebody else, some other facility, to ensure that your stuff is protected. You know what I mean? It's not with you. You have it elsewhere. So you're trusting that they have good fences and they have good security cameras, and maybe they have employees on site to monitor or some kind of security or something, just something to make sure that your stuff is safe. Maybe even like slight angles in the ground so water runs down instead of like possibly flooding up and seeping into the unit and stuff like that. Like, you're just trusting that these places are with it, if you will, versus when it's with you, you're kind of are in full control. A third thing that's kind of an obvious negative is, well, you don't have all your stuff. So even if you keep everything perfectly organized in the storage unit, it's still not with you at home. So if there's something that you want and you know exactly where it is in your storage, well, you still got to go to storage. You got to get your key, unless you keep it with you at all times. I don't know. I wouldn't. But otherwise, you got to get your key, go to the unit. Now, depending on how far away your place is, too, that could also suck. I mean, if you get one that's like down the street, okay, maybe it's no big deal. But if the closest one from you is, 10 miles away, well, now you got to go 10 miles out of your way to go to your storage. And that's one way. It's 20 miles round trip just to go pick something up. Versus if you just had it all at home with you, you go in the other room or you go in the basement or whatever, and boom, there it is. And then all that time that was wasted, the driving time, 20 minutes, say you're going 40 miles an hour, that's 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back, you're looking at 40 minutes just driving, plus, say you're at the unit for 10 minutes, you just wasted almost an hour of your day, where if you had the stuff with you at your place, like I said, downstairs or in the other room or whatever, it's 5 minutes. You go in there, yada da da, whatever you're doing, no big deal. You're wearing your pajamas. Say you're listening to the radio or I don't know. I was gonna say a CD. That's not really a thing anymore. So you got like Amazon playing music, but there's no interruptions. It's still going. You still hear it. You're looking for your stuff. You're in your pajamas. You're at home, relaxing. You know. And I mean, I guess that's largely it for negatives that I thought of offhand, like things that would really be not pleasant about having a long-term storage. I mean, I guess obviously, yeah, there's the aspect of how things could get damaged as well. Like, say the roof of your unit, you got an outdoor unit and it caves. Or say you got one of those indoor units and then just, I don't know, I'm sure the engineering's on point in those, but say a lot of people are storing heavy things and the floor caves. And your unit's underneath one of those where the floor caved and, oh, now my stuff's ruined. But that kind of, I feel like, ties in with the other points I said, like that the place is properly got security and maintained and everything. But yeah, or if you got an outdoor one, maybe you get like critters that sneak in there, spiders, little mice, and then there's that would suck too. Which, relatively speaking, I think would be easy to control. You just need to get mothballs. So yeah, it's annoying. You gotta buy mothballs and throw them in your unit, but kind of an easy fix. But still, it's something else. Now you gotta buy mothballs, something you normally wouldn't need or care about. But now, oh, well, I want to protect my stuff in storage. So, oh, I guess that's another one too. I just thought of now is the threat of potentially losing your stuff. So what I mean is, say you fall on hard times financially. I mean, I would assume that you could just back out of your... Actually, no, you couldn't. I was going to say, let me get into this. I'm thinking way too much stuff but not explaining it, so now I'm making no sense. So, what I was saying by how you could lose your stuff is if you, say, fell on hard times and you couldn't pay your rent agreement, then they would do the thing where they lock it out on you. They put a second lock on that's their lock, so now you can't get in. And then they auction it. And then I was going to say, well, I guess you could cancel your lease and protect your stuff that way. But then I thought, no, because if you put stuff in storage because, say, you don't have a lot of space, like the situation with my uncle and his ex-girlfriend. If there's no space, where else are you going to put it? So you couldn't take your stuff out because, you know what I mean? Where's it going to go? So then you'd have to leave it there, which means then you would end up losing your stuff. So... there's that too. That would suck. Imagine you got all your stuff, you can't pay anymore because something happened, and then they just auction it off on you. Ugh. Anyways, though, despite all those negatives, I thought there really could be some positives. Even if they're kind of goofy, it's still a positive. Like, one thing I was thinking is keeping your place neat. Like, when I was growing up, we had a room across from mine. So my bedroom was basically a finished off attic. And there was 2 rooms up there. My room and then a room across from me that was basically the same size. And the room that was across from me, we used as like, almost like kind of like a storage. We just put random stuff up there. It was like our holiday stuff, and then just other random things that were just in totes that nowhere else to put it, so we'll just put it in the storage room. So, in a sense, that room, granted, we didn't need that room for anything, so having it as a storage room, I guess, worked out kind of perfectly. It gave it a purpose, otherwise it would have just been like some random empty room across from my room. But, if we had a storage, well, then that room would have been free, and maybe we could have turned it into something. You know, maybe we could have made it something kind of cool, like a game room. Not so much like pool or anything. I'm just not talking game, like, you know, set up like a nice little table and we could play cards up there or something, board games, stuff like that. Or maybe we could have made it like a movie room, you know, get a nice stuff up there, nice furniture, nice TV, surround sound, all this, and made it something cool like that. I say this because, like I said, it was a finished off attic with 2 rooms, so it's the entire attic and there's just 2 rooms. So there were good sized rooms. So you could fit a lot of cool stuff like that. So anyways, but since we had storage in there, the room was occupied. Couldn't really do anything else with it. So yeah, I think that would be a cool thing. Like, you could keep your place tidy. So you still have your stuff. You don't want to throw it away. It's not junk. But you don't really have anywhere for it. And then it's going to take up space and be cluttery looking. So boom. Like, another thing I was thinking would be perfect for storage is like magazines. Like, for me, when I buy magazines, I like to keep them because, I mean, I guess some magazines don't matter. Like, if you like the gossip ones and the celebrity ones, who cares about that? It changes every week. You know, who cares? It's short-term entertainment. But for me, when I get magazines, I like magazines that are like almost like educational, I guess you could say, kind of like National Geographics. I mean, I haven't looked at one in a while, actually. I used to all the time, but the ones I used to look at, those were educational. You know, they had a lot of stuff in there about wildlife and this and that, but it's like, it's good forever. That information's not going to change. You know, any information that they have about lions is mostly going to be the same. I mean, maybe as they study them, they'll notice something. Oh, hey, after a really close investigation on lions for the past 20 years, we realized this. But otherwise, you know, or video game magazines. I know you could say that that's short term, but for me, it's kind of long term because I like looking back and reviewing old reviews, like when they're new. Like, oh, I remember when this came out. Oh yeah, this is cool. Man, now this game is 25 years old, but I remember when this was brand new. And so, anyways, yeah, if you're somebody like me, like with that, but you have a lot of subscriptions, like I didn't have that many subscriptions, so my amount of magazines is a lot, but it ain't that crazy. But say you're somebody that has a ton of subscriptions, but you want to keep them all, well, there you go, get a storage. Then you don't need to have this huge, massive clutter of magazines all over your place. I also think it could be good for like weight reduction. So for me, my place, my apartment, the floors creak like crazy when you walk around. The only room that doesn't really creak is the kitchen. Every other room creaks. And I'm not an architect. I don't understand floorboards and all this. I don't know if that's anything for me to worry about. It does make me nervous though. Because when I say creak, it's not just like a standard, like that happens. This is like, you walk around, it's just like every single step, no matter where you go. It's not like there's one spot that's like, oh, it creaks real bad right there. No, it's the whole floor. There's nowhere you can go that's quiet, except for the kitchen. And so anyways, it makes me nervous because I'm like, geez, I don't know what this means. Like, is my floor going to cave in someday? Like, I don't know enough about this to know if I should be worried or not. But I'm hoping that it's okay and it's just like, you know, old wood does that and whatever, you know, but I don't know. But anyways, you know, weight reduction, that could help if there's any weakness in the boards. Well, if you don't have tons of stuff, put the stuff you don't use all the time or whatever in storage, reduce some weight off the floor, and boom. Like, that's something I've been thinking about, even not getting a storage, just bringing the stuff to my work, actually, because I have an office at my job, so I can just put some stuff in there. But basically, it's like weights that I've been thinking about. Like, I have a weighted vest, and I'm like, you know, it's only 40 pounds, but I'm like, that's 40 pounds that I just got laying on my floor, because I don't know where else to put it. So there's like a little cubby hole in my living room, and I kind of just throw the weighted vest in there. It's out of the way. Nobody sees it, but I know it's there. The floor knows it's there while it's holding it up. And I was like, maybe, so I've been thinking of maybe just bringing that to work. It's kind of goofy, but I was like, well, maybe on lunch breaks I could work out with it too. You know, kill two birds with one stone. Work out and reduce the weight in my apartment by 40 pounds. So yeah, there's that. Another thing I think would be good about having storage is I have a whole bunch of ideas. I just got mildly distracted because, as I've said multiple times in my T4Cast, I usually make these while driving. The ones in the beginning, I didn't. I made those every Wednesday, and I'd lay on my couch, and I'd just kind of like talk to my phone almost like a therapist. Like, it was kind of funny. I set my phone up behind my head, and I'd just talk while laying on the couch, looking at the ceiling. But anyways, now I do them while driving because a lot of times I have far places to go to, and I'm like, hey, whatever, I can bang out one of these during the ride, make the ride seem a little less boring. But anyways, I'm on the highway, driving home, and there was a deer on the side of the road, and it's just like, oh man, like that can be dangerous, you know what I mean? Deers are big, and if it just runs out, like I'm not in a tractor trailer, I'm in a car. So just, it's kind of like, whoa, that was scary. Luckily it was smart. It actually turned all the way. It was looking the way like it wanted to run in the road, and then it turned, and it was like, whew, that was potentially close. Anyways, though, back to my main story. Let me see if I can regather my thoughts now. So the next thing that I think is potentially good about a storage unit is oh man, why am I trying to blank? There are a lot of random dumb little things I think of. Well, I always think this: what if something bad happened? Say your house burned down or something. Like, that would suck, obviously, but if you had a storage, then it makes it so that not everything got lost. Some got lost, but you still got tons of stuff in your storage. Now, granted, you're probably going to have just stuff in the storage, you know what I mean? Not like critical stuff like clothes and what have you, so you might still be screwed over there. But at least your stuff that you bought and had an interest in, it's not all lost. Some of it is, but not all of it. So that's kind of like a positive. It's almost like the situation with my daughter. Like, she's grown up in a broken home. Like, her mom and I, we were together for a year. Then she got pregnant, ditched me. And then after she had our daughter, we kind of got back together for a couple months. And then she just got weird and ditched me again. We were out doing apartment hunting. We looked at 2 places. And then for some reason, just out of nowhere, she just got all like just weird and negative and didn't want me to be a part of like trying to make a family anymore. And it was just like, okay, like, I mean, at the end of the day, my daughter's mother is quite a crappy person. And she wasn't really somebody that I wanted to be with, but I was willing to try for the sake of the kid. Anyways, though, going on a weird tangent here, the whole point I'm trying to make is that basically all my daughter knows is, the broken home situation, which I've always felt sad about because, like, I grew up with my mom and dad married, and, like, this is how she's growing up. But then I think, you know what? This actually probably is way better than if we were together. One, it's good that it happened when it happened, right away. So that way then she doesn't know us together. She can't be sad. Like, a lot of kids who knew that their parents were together and then they split, then they're sad about it. So she never knew that. So she doesn't have to feel sad. All she knows is the lifestyle that she has had, going back and forth between me and her mom. So that's one thing I always thought was kind of more on the positive side. And the second thing is, I think that's positive that we're not together is, her mom, like I said, does kind of suck. And there's been a lot of times where I can tell she's just stressed out by her mom. And at least us not being together, she can get away. If we were together, she wouldn't have anywhere to go. She'd be stuck. I mean, maybe like we could hang out in her room or something together, but like we're still there. Her mom's still in the house somewhere. Or at least now, like the situation we're in, she just gets out of there. Oh, Mom, good. Dad's here. F you. I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with you. But anyways, what I was really trying to get at when I was talking about how you don't lose all your stuff in storage if something bad happened is kind of like the situation with her. Because, like, I always think, like, she has 2 homes. So say something happened to one of them. Well, she has a backup. Like, say my place burned down or her mom's house did. Hope that never happens. That would suck. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, she'd still have another place with all her necessities. She's got clothes with me. She's got toys with me. Obviously, she's got clothes and toys with her mom. So, like, she wouldn't be screwed over, really. Yeah, there might be some stuff that I have or her mom has that would be gone, but for the most part, she's still in business. So that's kind of like my idea with the storage. Yeah, you might lose some stuff, but you wouldn't lose everything. The other thing I think is, this is kind of, this one's like really stretching it, I suppose, but I think it can help you if you were to move. Now, what I mean isn't what I was saying like in the beginning, how I said, yeah, it could work out great for you, so you put stuff in there, and then when you're all moved out and stuff's in storage and you're ready to go. No, I don't mean like that. I mean, you'd have the storage long term, but I mean more like, say you're just a tenant. You live in an apartment, but you don't plan on having an apartment forever. You have an apartment for now because, you don't have much money and you're working towards saving and all that. So when you get there and you're at the point where you feel ready to go talk to a real estate agent, then you can go do that. And then when you have a house, then you can get your stuff out of storage and all that, set everything up how you want it and such. But anyways, my point is while you're living in the apartment, you can have stuff in that storage unit that you don't use all the time, and then it just makes it easier when it is time to move. You know what I mean? You're half packed up already, basically. All right, finally got my house. I'm already half packed up via storage. Now I only have to pack up this other stuff, because moving sucks. So if you can alleviate that a little, even if it's not like directly intentional, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like a side effect of something else, it still helps. So there's that. The other thing I think with storage also is if you have a storage unit, you could possibly put stuff in there to like protect it, or I don't want to say safeguard it, but like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is like for me, when my daughter was young, like baby and young toddler, I had to make sure a lot of stuff was not within her reach. Like I like to collect weird weapons, basically like swords and knives and axes and stuff like that. And when she was little, like I had to hide all that stuff in my closet, and I even had some stuff hidden in my bureau underneath my clothes, just so then she wouldn't see it and like hurt herself or anything. Oh, what's this? Whoa, what are you doing with that? So that's something else I think about. Like if you have a storage, that's perfect place to put it. You don't have to worry about hiding it. It's just there, Man, I don't know what's going on. I hate talking while I'm driving about the situations, but there's been so much weird road work going on recently, and now there's some new road work in the area that I'm in, and it's making me uncomfortable because there's a car, and I'm not sure if they know what's up because they're in the passing lane for no reason because they're going kind of slow. But I don't think so. I just saw the sign that says end road work, so maybe they're setting it up so that then they will be able to get going on that other crap. Ugh. No fun. I'm sick of this road work. There's road work everywhere. And it's like bottlenecking stuff. That's why it's annoying. It's not like your standard road work where everybody's still moving. No, it's bottlenecking. And it's everywhere. Ugh. Anyways, though, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, if you have a storage, though, you just put your knives or whatever, your crazy stuff in there. Boom. Now it's super protected. Not only is it away from the child or whatever, but, like, it's not even in the house. There's almost no way you can get hurt by it now. Or if you have an animal that's maybe a little destructive, like, perfect example is for me. I just got a cat. Well, not just anymore. I got him back in September. I guess he was 6 months old then. But, oh my God, he was so annoying. He's kind of, like, gotten used to me now, I think, and what I expect, so he's less annoying. He still does some dickhead things here and there. But he's a lot better than when I first got him. Oh my God, when I first got him, he was just chaotic. He got into everything. He was constantly messing with my... Oh, man. Too much talking. But anyways, come on. Anyways, he was constantly getting into my knickknacks and just messing with everything. And I was like, come on, cat. Like, I had to redecorate my entire place. And by redecorate, I basically mean undecorate. I had to take stuff that I had out as decorations and, like, put it away somewhere. Find a drawer I could put it in. Find a... I don't know. Basically, that's all I did. Put it in random drawers. This draw's empty. I guess it'll fit in here. Well, not empty, but, there's space. I can fit it in here to protect it from him. And it's just annoying. It's like I have all these things that I wanted displayed that were displayed, but now I can't display anymore because of this dang cat. And I think about putting him back out now that he's less crazy, but I'm like, I don't know. My luck, he'll see it and go, oh, hey, I remember fooling around with that. And then he'll be right back in his old ways, and I'll be like, come on, cat. But anyways, instead of just randomly putting stuff in drawers, maybe that's what you could do if you had a storage unit too. I mean, it would be dumb to get a storage just for this, but I'm just saying, like, there's the potential, bigger picture and stuff, that you could go and put some stuff. If you already had a unit, I guess, would make more sense, actually. Then you just get, like, a small bin and put some random stuff in there. And, then you put it in the storage, and now it's not taking up unnecessary space in your drawer, and at the same time your cat or dog isn't messing with it. It's nice and safe and protected. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of a stretch though. Like I said, you're not going to go out and get a storage unit specifically just for some random things. Like that would be pretty dumb. Oh, I got this one little tote of stuff. I need to get a storage unit to protect this from my cat. Like, that would be stupid. But I'm just saying, like, I guess if you already had a unit, then you could just add it. Oh, by the way, I don't know if this screen just flipped around. My bad, I forgot about that. There was a cop. Again, I'm driving, I'm on the highway, and a cop just got on the on-ramp and was behind me. I wasn't worried, I don't speed or anything. So, you know, they love to, but he wasn't yet. I don't know if he was being a dick, just like quickly running my plate for whatever reason or something. I don't know, I'm not worried. But he finally got around to passing me, and I just put my phone down just so he wouldn't like see the light on my phone if he looked over. I just wanted to make it look casual. So yeah, I don't know if in the process of me doing that if the screen flipped, but if it did, that's why. That's even if you're looking. I mean, there's not much to look at here. It's just the T4Cast words, and you should just be listening to me talking. But if you saw that, that's what happened. Anyways, back to the story. So yeah, what else do I think about could be like a benefit of a storage unit? Well, I always think of, like, if you do have valuable things, like, it's kind of a catch-22, what I'm gonna say, but if you have valuable things, maybe you could, like, securely store them in storage and kind of protect them a little. That way then, if anything happens, say you got broken into, got robbed or whatever, it's not in your place. They couldn't steal it. It's in storage. Now, yeah, at the same time, you could say, well, the storage could get broken into and robbed. True, but the hope and expectation would be, well, one, like I said, if you had it properly secured, so maybe if you have it in like a lockbox in your storage unit, then your storage unit itself should be locked. Then the facility should have some kind of security, whether it's gates or alarms or something, cameras, a combination. So you'd think that maybe it actually would be a little safer there than just in your home. Especially if you live in an apartment. I mean, a house you'd kind of would hope is safe, but an apartment, depends on the neighborhood, depends on the landlord and all that, so. But, yeah, what else? I mean, I kind of already said this. I was going to say, storage units can also help make your place tidy. Like, I was thinking me, with my big collection of, like, video games and stuff. You know, it's almost like you could put the console and games in storage that you're not currently playing. That way then you don't have this giant collection of games and everything just hanging around. You just have what you're currently working on, or playing, I should say. And depending on the console too, I mean, it could be pretty small. If all you're playing was Switch, that's already nice and neat. So get rid of all those bulky systems, your original Xbox and but yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's really much else to rattle on about. It's just the random stuff I think about, stuff like that. Like, there are some potential benefits depending on your situation. It's not all make fun of the people, you know. It even could be a situation, I just thought of this now too, of people who maybe get married. Say you both had a house already of your own, and then you get married and you move in together, and now you both have tons of stuff that filled up an entire apartment or home, a house, but it's not going to fit both of your, you know what I mean? Both of your things won't fit, so maybe you get a storage unit and you kind of compromise. Both of you put some stuff in there. You don't want to get rid of your stuff, but at the same time, you know, well, someone else is moving in, I got to make space for them. And then the person moving in is like, well, I can't bring all my stuff because I'm moving into their house, so that would hold some benefit too. I mean, I guess the argument could be, well, I guess you could just sell it. You know, what do you need it for? What would be some of the stuff you're going to keep? Like a kitchen table? Well, you'll never need a second one. Okay, but still. But yeah. I think the coolest thing that I ever saw, and I don't remember where I saw this or how I saw it or what, but I saw a storage unit where the person actually had it kind of like set up. Like, they used it for, like, their construction business. They had it all set up. They had ladders in there. They had a shelf with, like, paint. I don't know if it was paint. It could have just been, like, the cans, but they used the cans for something. But, like, they had their screws in there. hammers, all their tools, their leaf blower, their snow blower. Like, it was kind of cool though, because it was set up. The stuff wasn't just in there, it was set up, and it was like, oh, that's cool. So he would go there and get whatever he needed, and at the same time drop off whatever he didn't need. So say the last job required, I don't know, like tree clippers, loppers. But now this job doesn't need it. He'd drop his loppers off and grab whatever he did need. But it was all neat and tidy in there, and I was like, that's kind of cool, actually. Like, a well-organized storage unit, I don't know, you never really see that. Usually storage units are like on Storage Wars. They open it, it's a huge mess. You can't really see what's in there, so these guys are trying to take a look so they know how to bid, but you can't really tell because it's just stuff in there. Where this guy's storage unit, I was like, man, if his, for some reason, ended up going to auction, you'd open it up and you can see exactly what's in there. Oh, he's got a new-looking chainsaw. Oh, I like that snowblower. I like... So there's also that as a storage idea. Like, maybe it's because you live in an apartment, but you are a self-employed lawn care specialist or something, but you don't really have anywhere to store your lawnmower and everything, especially in the winter. So you get a storage unit. You just keep it tucked away in there. It's kind of like what some people do with the expensive cars. They rent a big car-sized unit and put their car in there over the winter. Can't fit it in the yard. Maybe they don't have a garage, but boom, got a storage unit, put my car in there. So, yeah. That's another thing, too, I always thought about. I feel like storage units are probably an easy, like, money machine. You know what I mean? It's almost like laundromats. Like, as long as your laundry and your washers and dryers are in good shape, like, that's just money. Yeah, I know it's kind of crappy money. You got to deal with, like, all these quarters and stuff. But still, it seems like it's easy enough revenue. Same as a storage unit. I mean, first off, people handle the units themselves, so you don't even really have to do any labor at all. You just need to have it available, and then people come and put their stuff in there. And then you collect money for them to keep their stuff there. And, like, even if one storage unit, like I said, let's say $80. Say they're all $80, no matter how big, just to make it easy. And say there's, I don't know how many units are at a typical storage site. There's a lot. Like, there's one in my area being built. Well, not being built. It was built, but they keep expanding on it. And I'm like, Jesus, storage is that popular that they need more space? But let's just say, again, for easy numbers, there's like 50 units. And they're all rented out at $80 per month. Okay? That's what? $4,000 a month? 8 times 5... 40, 2 zeros, yeah, $4,000 a month. Just because you own a storage unit, $4,000 a month. Now, yeah, there's some expenses, like if you have security, you have to pay for, I don't mean people, but I mean like a security system. You have to pay for that, whatever electricity is needed. Little expenditures here and there. But overall, you're probably still netting at least, let's say, $3,000 a month. Which... okay, that's not great annually. Am I doing this math right? That seems kind of low, actually. Maybe it's because I'm making them all be 80, where that wouldn't be the case in real life. But still, even then, $3,000 a month times 12, it's $36,000 a year clear. You know what I mean? That's after taxes. That's after your bills that you might have, electric bill and stuff. $36,000, one storage unit. Get 3 of those, you're making over $100,000 a year. By really just doing nothing. The people just put their stuff in there and pay you to keep it there. Like, I always thought that's gotta be so easy. And then think about, like, if something goes to auction, and then if the auction goes well, someone ends up bidding $10,000 on a unit, and they get it. Well, you get a cut of that. I don't know what the cut is, but say, even if it's 10%, that's $2,500. I mean, that's $1,000 right there. I don't know why I said 25. I was thinking $25,000, even though I said 10,000. But anyways, yeah, 10%, you get $1,000. So now that month you made $4,000 because of the one unit. And then after that unit is sold, it's cleaned out, and now you got a new tenant in there. Boom. So it's almost like you're double dipping, triple dipping. Jeez. I always thought about trying to get a storage unit because I'm like, man, that's easy, but it's just like, I don't know, it would be difficult. I mean, you'd have to find a storage unit that exists. I can't be building one. I have to find one that exists, try to buy it. I'm sure it'd be expensive, but I just thought the income would be so easy. It's just super easy passive money. Like I said, just like the laundromat. Laundromat would be super easy passive money too, for the most part. You know, the only time it wouldn't be is if your some of your washers or dryers break. But even then, you know, if you're gonna own the laundromat, learn how to fix them yourself. Then all you gotta do is buy the part. So now you're saving a ton on labor for you to do it instead. You know? Because, like, the laundromat I used to go to, that one was, at the time, recently bought out. And that's what that guy would do. He would fix his own units. And it was like, hey, that's the way to do it. Save money. Your business should be all about capitalizing, or maximizing, I should say, your revenues. So, yeah, those are the two industries that I always thought would be cool. And another one that I thought would be kind of cool to get into would be like those 50-cent machines that are at, you know, grocery stores and stuff. They sell candy, or they sell like junky, cheap, fake jewelry. I figured those, obviously on the small scale, you're not making a lot of money because it's 50 cents for a prize. But I'm like, at the end of the day, though, I'm sure your revenues are pretty disproportionate. Like, you know, you put the candy in, and it, you know, the amount, like, let's say somebody buys a big gumball. One gumball, 50 cents. Well, that one gumball probably actually costs you, like, 5 cents if you buy them in, like, a bag. You know what I mean? A big bag of gumballs, and you just dump them in your what do you call it, distributor thing. So you made, like, a huge profit margin off that one gumball. But anyways, yeah. I'm just trailing on here and just thinking about other random stuff while I'm driving. So, at the end of the day, that's just what I think about storage units. I think that that there's more to them than just what he thinks every time he makes fun of it. Like, I get it. And he makes fun of it because he has nothing. Like, he doesn't have money. He's always broken. That's because he has a gambling problem. But he also doesn't have any possessions. He has clothes, and that's really about it. Clothes and a couple, you know, some golf clubs and some yard stuff like a leaf blower and stuff. But otherwise, he doesn't have anything. So it's easy for him to make fun of people who do have things. But, yeah, I'm parked now. I'm where I'm trying to get. So I don't want to keep dragging this out. So I guess I'm done here. So, yeah. Thanks for listening to this with me. And until whatever comes next, I said see ya.